Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to you all, wherever you may be in the world. I hope you're well. Welcome to another episode of My Skin Color Complements Yours. Please take some time to share this live stream out with your family and friends. I know it's a subject that many people shy away from, but like I said, I have brave people around me. This world is full of amazing people, and we have one of them today, all the way from Costa del Sol. Katja, how are you?
Thank you. I'm doing great. And thank you for having me. I just love what you do, and the work that you do is so important. So I love to be here today and support what you are doing here, creating a
You know,
consciousness and
I,
awareness.
I I could not be doing this work without people like you. I am just a channel for the work, but it's because of people like you that I really think this conversation must continue. You are a light worker, but right now, the world is going through so many changes. We do not know where to stand, how to behave, what to say, what not to say. Should we put on the mask? Should we take it off? It's hot. Should we stay in? Should we lock down? You are in Costa del Sol. What is the situation right now as we speak?
So right now we do have a mandatory mask rule here that was taken in place in the springtime. We had this in whole Spain. We had a lockdown, a strict one, and then we were able to open up. But now we took a step back, and now we have this mandatory mask rule, and that, of course, divides opinions. It is hot here. Wearing a mask is not the most comfortable thing, and people have opinions back and forth about that. So we are here also relying on tourism, and it is a very challenging situation for many.
Yeah. It's not the best time to wear a mask. It's not really. If it's winter, then it's okay. But who are we to decide the weather is the way it is. But we also have to save lives, and we also have to save our lives. So I am in favor of that, of wearing the mask when you're outside and try to, do social distancing, but it's not possible for everybody. And it's also becoming to a very depressive condition that people just have to stay among themselves. So I see where we are getting fed up. However, we still have to save our lives. So let's give people a few minutes to share this live stream out. I see we have live viewers. Please comment what the situation is in your country, and let's give people a few minutes to really spread the word for us. Let's talk about leading with love during changing times.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Katja, when I started this program, I needed someone like you by my side. I needed someone like you who is so much into the spirituality. I know I've been watching you for a long time. I'm part of your Facebook group, and I see the light that you shine. As a light worker, please help me tell the audience why you decided to go through this path, because you have multiple qualifications. You are a coach. You can do so many things, but you decided to move into the spirituality of life. And now I think you're doing a PhD in that. I don't know if I should say it, So tell us more about you and about your work, please.
Yes, so the PhD, yes, I'm working on it. I just got in for second year in doctorate in spiritual science. And what does the spirituality mean for me? It's just a different viewpoint. It brings more, in my mind, it brings more awareness And
Yes.
I feel the awareness is the key now, also how we are moving on and then what we are doing here in the world. Because there is always a choice here. You can always see life, what I call from soul's perspective. And that is all what are we learning through these experiences that we have been going through. And
Mm,
that has been very valuable for me. Of course, I everything that I share is something I have also applied into my own life. And finding this different perspective to view life has brought more awareness. And I'm like, okay, I'm going through that experience, or I'm in the experience now. So what can I learn from this situation? And
mm,
that often shifts also the emotions, what we might have when we are going through experiences. So it doesn't bypass those emotions. Yes, you still need to feel it, but once you have experienced those emotions, then it's like, okay, what am I learning here?
mm,
And that is something also we can share with others. And that way we all raise the level of awareness, which I
mm.
feel is so needed, especially in the world right now.
I absolutely agree with you. Everything you understand, all the experiences you've had will make no sense if you keep it to yourself. And but not everybody has the capacity of sharing that knowledge with others, and you do it so magnificent. Listening to you, it just calms me down. When you do your live streams and when you share your work, and I'm like, is worth while in this world. So I really, really adore your work, and I hope many people will get the chance to get to know you more and to work with you. I'm also looking into Africa, how we can apply your knowledge, because it's such a crowded world, and I think this is the time for people to come out as an individual before you become a group.
Hmm. And I believe we all do have our stories. We all do have life experiences that can be the very thing that helps somebody else. And that's
Exactly.
why I always encourage people to share. And maybe your format to share is not speaking, maybe it's writing, maybe it's creating a song. There is many ways to share your story. So that's also the opportunity that we have here, is to find your way to
Mhm.
communicate. Because I truly believe that our stories has the power to transform, and they have this power to help others.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's completely true. But some people shy away from it. So,
Oh, and may I say, I totally get that. I actually shied away 15 years. So if you are there shying away, knowing that you have something valuable to share, but it is scary. And I
yes,
totally shied away 15 years. I say I was there. So I get you if you're there. And now I'm here to support others to have the courage to share.
yeah. A leader is born through shyness. So, as we continue this conversation, let's talk about the quote of the day. Leadership is practiced not so much in words as in attitude and in actions. Does this resonate with you?
Absolutely. And I love that attitude part, especially because that is something we can always choose. Like,
Yes.
you can't always choose what's happening around you. Maybe you can't always even choose your actions because there might be some limitations. But what you can always choose is your attitude, because that is up to you. So I love that. And it's very true. We need to check our attitude and also take action in order to
To, to
make things happen, make the shifts that we want to see in the world.
Absolutely. And I think when the attitude is right, then the action will also follow. But if we have just the words without the attitude, then there is no action, right?
Yeah, and the words are just words. They are not backed up by the action.
Exactly. Exactly. So tell us, as a light worker, please help us tell the audience why you decided. You've already explained that. But also, in this, I brought back this question because not everybody understands what a light worker is.
So let me start there with the defining. For me, light worker is somebody who wants to raise awareness, want to help others, or and share something meaningful. And there are many ways to do it. For me, is helping others as a spiritual mentor and success coach.
Mm,
But I have people in my light workers group, for example, who are lawyers. So they bring the light into the work that they do. And
mm,
that is something we all can do. And that will bring also the support and help that we can share in the world. And why I chose this path, I feel like this path, in a way, was
chose you.
chosen. Like, yes, I know and acknowledge I chose. I would have had other opportunities as well. I could have shared different paths. I actually worked in banking before I started coaching, so completely different world. But I felt called to 2012 to jump out from that path and say yes to my calling to start helping others on their journey.
Great, and I'm happy you did because
No.
it's serving so much, it's helping so many people, and you may not know it, but these are the downsides of social media, that people get to enjoy good work, and the people putting out the work may not know it, but someday you will know how much you're appreciated and how much your work has a great impact. So please, no matter how difficult the journey is, you are really appreciated, and don't give up on that.
Thank you. And the same goes to you. You are such a powerhouse, like putting this forum together. And I always love what you do. You are like taking action and sharing your wisdom. So I love that.
Thank you. Thank you. We are living in changing times. Each day, in normal cases, each day is kind of routine. You know what will happen. You know when you wake up what you're going to do and what's expected of you. But now, each day brings unexpected worries for everybody. You have COVID, we have racism, we have God knows what, borders have been closed. Balance is no longer a given. It's not like, you have your comfort, you wake up, you have your coffee and everything. Balance is no longer a given to everybody or to all of us. So we are kind of on an equal pedestal. How do we talk ourselves through such changing times? Because when there is adversity, you feel you are alone and you have to work towards it and try your way out of it. But now we are all in it. All of us are in the same place. How do we talk ourselves out of these changing times?
Yeah, that is a good question. And I do my best to bring some insights, some options here, but it's a huge question. But
Yes.
one of the things here is to check how you relate to what's happening. And that is something how, what you can choose, like what we talked before, is the attitude. And you can
Yes.
choose also how you relate to the issues that are happening in the world and how you are relating yourself while you are going through these situations that are in place. And there has always been uncertainty. Like we never know what's happening tomorrow, but we assume that we know. And now that has been shaken many of us because it is a situation with the COVID-19 that nobody really knows what's happening.
Yeah.
And how are you living with these uncertain times? Might be a good thing to find something that will bring you the peace in within, because that's where everything starts. Like, how can you calm your mind? How can you take care of yourself during these times? And for me, one of the things is, for example, reading spiritual texts that bring me feeling of connection. Maybe it's a prayer, maybe it's a meditation, but doing something that works for you. And that way you can, even if it's a little thing, maybe it's listening to your favorite music, just uplifting the energy. And then you can go on with the day, dealing with all this uncertainty that is happening and just accepting it is what it is. And that is a big thing. I say it like, oh, you just accept things,
Yes.
but it is a process. But it starts if you have the willingness to start working on it.
Exactly. Exactly. I completely agree with you. I ask myself every day two questions. Is it happening only to you?
Mm,
And the answer is no. So, okay, one problem solved. The next question is, can you change anything?
mm,
Sometimes I say yes, sometimes it's a no. And when I say no, okay, I have to accept why that answer came to me. And when it's yes, I'll ask myself what. And
yeah.
most of the time, it's like first you start building yourself up before you can build somebody else.
That's
That's
very
what it
true.
is.
And I love your questions because that's also like, okay, what can I do? So then it brings more the choice and awareness. If you can't change it, like, okay, I can at least choose then how I think about it instead of like going and complaining about the thing that you can't change.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
checking also what can you do? Because maybe there is something that you can do.
Of course.
That's often also like finding these ways how you take care of you so that you can deal with everything that is happening outside.
And my way of dealing with it is this new platform that I'm building now.
Hmm.
I asked myself, what can you do? And
Yes.
this came through. I just jumped on it, called one person. She said yes, but uh, then I said, okay, then let's go this way. I called some people. They're like, oh, it's a very sensitive topic. I cannot. I acknowledge that it's sensitive, but this is my own way of. This is one of the answers that I got when I started thinking of it. What can I do? How can I,
And
So
well,
that,
I just got chills. Like it's just like I love that you just said yes and
yes,
got the idea, and then you took action, and that's
yes,
the key here. Because many of us get great ideas, but then we might let them go. And you were like, okay, this is something I start. You took action, you made that call, and
yeah.
got another yes. And here we are now with me as well. I was saying yes.
Exactly, exactly. And I hope many people will come on because we have to talk about it. There
Mm,
is always a yes and a no to an answer. Yes, it's not happening only to you. No, it is happening to you
mm, yes,
because it's not only me, yes, but in this context of my skin color complements yours and the lockdown, I'm raising biracial kids. So it's
mm,
happening to me.
mm,
I can choose to say, oh, it will solve itself. There will be things will get better, or I take action. And here we
yeah,
are.
absolutely.
So, few months after George Floyd's death, we all are questioning how we can make this world a better place. How did this situation show up for you? When this incident happened, how did it show up for you? How did you feel? What did it bring up for you? Or what did it bury for you?
Mm. So I found out about that incident what happened to George Floyd through Facebook. Like I was scrolling and all of a sudden I was seeing the video about his last moments. And it was so hard to
Yeah,
watch because part of me knew that he's 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 dying there, and then you couldn't do anything.
yeah, yeah,
It was just witnessing what was happening.
yeah, exactly.
And it, like people have said, but you are so far away, how can it affect you? But it did. And it also brought up a lot of feelings and all the, like I have had these conversations with many people afterwards. It is like also bringing forward like what can I do, and how can I gain more awareness also for my own actions, and owning also my non-actions that I have done in the past.
Yeah, yeah,
I have often, and I will need to own that part that sometimes I haven't said anything when I have heard comments that haven't felt that Those are
Great.
comments that should have been made. But I'm very sensitive, and often I step back instead of saying like, I don't think this is appropriate way to talk. And that was something I decided to take a stand. Like, okay, and when you ask for me to come to here and talk about it, I said yes, even though I feel like I'm not sure how to express this, but
Yep.
I want to support this cause. And this is also the willingness to say yes
Yep.
and say, I stand for this cause, I stand for Black Lives Matter, and finding a way. I'm learning. I'm also like finding new ways how I can do my part. And that's part of it is like having the willingness to take a stand.
Exactly. And this is the beauty of it all. I mean, there must be a breaking point for people to wake up.
Mm,
If we were all comfortable and everything was right, we, not many people will stand up for any change. And
mm,
again, as I said, I've called a couple of people and they said it's very sensitive. They don't want to get involved. And I agree. And I saw many people also supporting me behind. And they are brave people like you who come up. When I ask this question, it's because somehow you can tell that there is this trigger and there are certain people who want to make this to not to stop, because it will eventually stop in a way, but also to question themselves. When
mm,
this happened, it came up to me. I belong to the to both worlds. I have a mixed kid. I was married to a white. It's not the first. I mean, my family is mixed. So, and I've also had cases of racism, and that all came up to the surface. So it
mm,
only speaks to me that where I am right now, this journey that I'm taking right now, it's a sensitive topic, but it only makes sense to speak about it, because not speaking about it makes things worse.
yeah.
And if anyone saw that image and was not moved, then something is wrong. You could have
Mm,
been moved in either way, either saying he deserved it, either saying I don't care. You've moved in it in one direction or the other. So I really congratulate you for having the courage to say yes, because we all need to heal. We've been handed over ideas, information that somehow we do not really assimilate why we are behaving the way we behave. Sometimes it's voluntary, sometimes it's not. And just the fact that we question ourselves and say, let's go and learn, let's go on that live stream and talk about it. Let's
mm,
just open our mind a little bit. That is huge. And I'm so grateful that you could do this for me. I'm so grateful that you are bringing in this energy of positivity wherever you go, because many of us have to heal. You have to, I have to, many of us have to.
yeah.
And that's where your work come in, your work of energy, carrying the positive energy. Tell us, how do you work with people and their energy? How do you encourage them to shift their energy?
And that's one part of the work that I do,
Yeah,
and everything starts within, I believe, with all the work that I do, and it is tuning in and checking what's happening. Like you can do it right now, just to check
exactly.
what's happening within, what kind of thoughts you have, and how do you feel in your body. And that is the first thing, because all those affect also our actions. And there are what I want to offer as a gift for everyone is 5 simple ways to clear negative energy. Because if you feel that maybe you are a little bit low and there might be some negativity coming in, because there is so much negativity happening in if you watch news, there is all the time negativity coming in. So I wanted to create this simple guide that I offer as a gift, and it has 5 ways how you can clear negative energy.
Yeah, I've just shared it on the screen now. So if anybody, you just click on that link and then you'll be able to download that. And yeah, exactly.
Because that will give you the tools how you can get started.
Yeah.
And it is just a way to gaining more awareness of your, and again, taking care of you so that you can go in the world and help others. And part of that is having, again, it comes to the awareness. And I believe the awareness is such a key in whatever we do. And that just helps you, because when we have negative energy, we might also spread that energy. And part of the thing here is if we want to create change, that change starts within. And that
Yes.
when you do what you can within you, then you can go into the world and take actions there. But the first thing
Exactly.
is to take care of you.
Exactly. And that change that starts within you. What I find is that you cannot do it all alone by yourself.
Mm,
There are certain changes that you can do by yourself, that you need to do by yourself. But things like this, with what happened with George Floyd, it's a community action. It's a worldwide action. And by talking to you now, just telling me the change starts within me, I have to take care of myself, you've already helped me, because you're pointing me to something which might not have been on my list of how that change can start. You see what I mean? So
yeah.
I think it's a difficult conversation. By talking to other people, we get ideas, and I hope that we will do more work, that more people will watch this live stream, and they will ask themselves, what change is it that they want to see in the world? Where does it start? What energy are they carrying? Are they carrying biases from parents, from past generation, and they carry it with them and they become negative? It's a difficult situation to be in, but we do not have to be negative about it, because by stop being negative about it, that's where we start creating the change that we want to see.
Oh, what a beautiful words. That was so well said. Because it is truly, this is the power that we have, and together we can create the change when we start doing the work within, and
Yeah,
then we come together, and together we stand stronger as well.
right.
It is
Exactly.
time for the change. It has,
Exactly.
it's truly, I feel like now everything that is happening, all this can also happen for us so that we can create here a better future together.
Exactly. Exactly. It's for us. It's really a gift, but it's a choice to see it as a gift. Yeah.
And it's a challenging thing, especially when lives are lost in that way. But then again, like George Floyd, we can see that as he sacrificed his life for us to wake up.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
let's just do what we can now
Yeah.
to create the transformation and honor him.
We must make a shift. We must make a shift towards a better world. How can we start leading now with love? You've enlightened us that we have to start within. We need that energy, we need that change, and we have to start within. And you have 5 ways of clearing that energy block that we may have, which I've shared the link here. How do we start this change or this shift of seeing the human race as one? How can we start loving each other? I'm not saying we should go, I mean, we should appreciate everybody that we meet, but who knows? Why not? How do we start?
Oh, wow. Big question. You're asking big questions.
We need to have a conversation. What do I do when I stand in front of somebody tomorrow and they don't treat me right, or somebody is mean to my kid? How do I leave this situation with love so that they can learn?
I feel like there is one of the keys is recognizing, of course, we don't need to get like be best buddies with everyone,
Exactly.
but also seeing the value of another human being. Like we are human race. It is not separated with things. It is one. So we come all different colors, different shapes. So then seeing beyond the physical, I feel that could be a key as well. Like seeing beyond, seeing like this is where the spiritual part comes, like seeing the soul in another human being. like they are, maybe that light that is within them might be hiding behind many layers
Distinct.
of pain and hurt and all things. But if you intend to see that light, that can be helping you to bring compassion. The compassion doesn't mean that they can walk over you, but it means that you intend to see the light that is also within that person. Because when we connect on that soul to soul level, that's when we see each others in a very different way. We
Yeah,
see beyond the physical appearance.
exactly, exactly. I agree, but it's not that easy, And what I normally do is sometimes when I get, because I don't remember all the time, when I get out of my home, I just say to myself, I am light. I
Mm,
am light. I am light. And the way you walk into people without even judgment, it's like you feel you're treated lightly, differently, and there is no such thing as color. But it's practice, it takes time, and it's also what you said from the very beginning is the awareness of it all. Being
yes,
aware, being
yes.
aware of your spirituality, of your how you carry yourself while you're here. We all have obstacles, we all have adversities. Yes, racism is a fact,
Mm,
but shall we continue in anger with it? I don't think so. That's why this platform is here. I think we can speak with it from a very understanding point, because no one hurts you if they themselves are not in pain.
mm, yeah. And that's, I feel that's a very key here. And everything also here start with the willingness to do, the
Yeah.
willingness. And that way you can start and it comes. It is a practice. And
Yes.
I totally feel I'm practicing too. Like it is always, there might be triggers, but if that trigger happens, it's also like, okay, let me look into this thing, because that's another learning opportunity for you. Like, oh, okay, they pushed that button. Like, let me work on that. So next time when they try to push it, it's not there because I cleared it, I healed it. So
Yeah.
that's another way to make it more fun as well. Like, okay, I can work on this, I can work on me as I'm practicing, as I'm growing, and as I'm gaining more and more awareness, and
Exactly.
having a lot of compassion with yourself and with others.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We will get there in a loving way. This conversation will continue. Many people in the world are going to have it with themselves and with others. So we might as well be part of it.
Absolutely.
But among all of this, you cannot also have yourself on track. I'm going out, I have to be in the light or whatever. I think communication is such a key. It's so
Mm,
necessary that we you speak out in a more constructive way. But that starts at a very young age because, for example, I, as an African, I'm not saying that I'm not communicating in a constructive way, but we have already the the volume of a voice is already like wow, which is it already gets people on their nerves, and but that's how we are, and that's how we express
mm,
ourselves. So being conscious and being aware, like you just instructed me from the very beginning, is key. The way we communicate and the communication that we put out there is important. Where do we begin with improved communication on racism? How do we start? Like, skin color exists. you know there are reasons why people are racist, but how do we start having this conversation in a constructive way rather than running away from it?
and that's, for many, me included, was very challenging. Like, what can I say as being a white person? Like, how can I contribute here?
Yes.
And sometimes it is also listening, like finding ways to really listen. And then having, though, then the courage to say something like I'm learning and I have to acknowledge and allow myself this learning curve. I do not have right words maybe to express things. I might have say something that upsets people, but then I have the willingness to say anyway so that I can learn,
Yeah.
and having the willingness to keep learning. But I feel like there is also time to listen and time to like, okay, let me hear what you are saying.
Yeah.
And then when we are speaking, it is also speaking from our hearts. We might have had cultural influences, the influence of family who raised us, all those things come into the picture.
Mm,
We might have our beliefs, how
yeah.
the world should be.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I feel when we tap into the heart, when we tap into the love and see the other human being as human being, I feel that's also where this communication can start.
Yeah.
And when we go beyond the mind that is very busy, going in circles and trying to find the perfect thing to say, but saying things from your heart, I feel that also can bring a different communication forward.
Yeah. 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 We have to give it a chance. We
Absolutely.
have to give it a chance. Life is already where we are now. It's already a beautiful place. Let's just imagine for 1 minute that we all put in our best effort. What is it going to be like for your children, for the next generation, for your, I mean, for the younger ones, or even for us? What is it going to be like if everybody puts in their best effort to communicate on this subject? To They will be blaming. But the more we start talking about it, like we are having this conversation right now, I see your point, you see my point. Those things happen, decisions were made 400 years ago. We cannot ask those people why they did
Mm,
what they did. All we can ask is, why are we carrying on this legacy? That's what we should be asking ourselves. Is it necessary? It's not our
mm,
problem to carry on such shameful act. So
mm.
now the conversation should continue. And that brings me to my next question. What's your legacy you would like to leave in the world when it comes to racism?
I'd love to support people to see people as the souls having a human experience, seeing the beauty that is in this journey, and using everything for a learning experience and learning and growing, not repeating the same past thing.
Exactly.
What happened in the past doesn't mean that we need to keep doing the same things. We can say, hey, that doesn't make sense anymore. I'm changing that and tapping into that power of change, power of transformation
Yeah,
that is possible as we can do the personal level. And then I believe also when more and more of us choose to say yes to this, and then we can raise the awareness, and there is comes the tipping point when it becomes like the normal thing, like of course
exactly. Exactly.
we
Yeah,
are one human race. So
exactly.
what were we thinking in the past? And that way we can just create a better future for for ourselves, but also the generations to come.
Exactly. Just talking to you already, there were some parts where I feel that the heaviness, and you're finding how do I express how do I communicate myself, really what I'm feeling right deep inside. How do I find the words? And I could feel that. And
Hmm.
I have that compassion, that I feel this person is trying to really tell me what they feel,
Hmm.
but it's not easy to get it out for fear of maybe not expressing themselves, but you could feel that something is heavy inside.
Mm.
And this is why we should all come out. What happened in the past doesn't belong here anymore. That heaviness, we all carry it. Talking to you all as well, I also have a feeling I have to put like break, come back. Don't push.
It is because it's like we're wanting to express things that
Exactly.
are are okay, and it is a topic I'm still learning also to communicate. Definitely not my expertise, but I
Neither is in mine, but as I said, we have to talk about it.
please do have compassion with me. But
Yeah.
it was something I was willing to say yes to, and I wanted to just share my
Yes.
point of view here, and
Yeah,
hopefully,
exactly. And you did it beautifully, but it's not easy for you. It's not easy for me.
mm,
It's not easy for anybody. So it's going to be difficult conversation. Even speaking about this with my kids is not easy because there are some facts that which are hurtful, but it doesn't mean it has anything to do with their dad or with them. So
mm.
it's not an easy conversation. So I again, even at home, I have to do gas.
We had a bumpy ride, but
So I'm getting more practice than you. It's like,
yeah, because I can sense your power. You know.
so yeah, and it's we all have to feel uncomfortable about this. If we want any change doesn't come from comfort. It comes from the
Mm,
discomfort of the whole thing. So it was not a discomfort to talk about you, but it also made me conscious that that person in front of me has the same struggle like me.
mm.
Because you want to say, but is it adequate? Is it the real time? I want to ask, is it correct? Is it her fault? Why she not? So it brings all this idea, but it educates us to know that this is really not our heritage. This is not a heritage, and this is not what we want to pass on. That's what that hesitation is all about, because we
Mm,
know this cannot be handed over to the next generation. So
yeah.
I am blessed. I'm grateful that you had the courage to come talk with me. Um, I've learned in this one session that the person in front of me also has something to say, and the person also doesn't want to pass on the same legacy that was given to the person. We all inherited something, and we've decided not to pass it on to the next generation. So I'm truly grateful.
Oh, thank you, and thank you for having me here and
Thank you so much.
giving this opportunity to support you and your cause. It was like honor to be called
Thank you.
here, and I did my best to
Oh yes, oh yes, oh
support
yes,
your.
and you did it in a beautiful way. We have to talk about it. This communication part is so important because you are standing in front of a human being, no matter what, and we all feel guilty of something that we were not responsible for. And I think the bravery here is that we are saying no. Yes, we received something, but we want to make a change.
Yes,
And it's not going to be an easy conversation, but we've decided to make the effort. We've decided to show up to talk about how we complement each other. You understand me, I understand you. We are talking of the same thing without putting harsh words on it, but we are saying this is not correct. Something doesn't sit well. It doesn't sit well with me.
mm.
So thank you so much. I would like to share your website with all our viewers. I'm going to put it in the comment so they can just click on it. So if anyone is having this heaviness and is finding it difficult to really put words to what they feel, like you have something to say, but it's hard to say, and you think your energy is off, you can't just get around what you have to do to take action, please contact Katya. You will be in good hands. If you still do not have access to what I've shared here, contact me and I'll put you in contact with her. You are in really, really good hands. Katja, thank you so much.
Thank you, Lynn, for having me.
I'll see you in maybe in another live stream, or maybe in Costa del Sol. You know, we were supposed to come over and whoops, COVID. So
Oh,
thank you so much.
thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye bye, dear. So yeah, that was it for today. Thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure spending these few minutes with Katja. She is such an amazing coach. I believe in her. If you need help with anything, if you need to just to talk, contact her. You have her contact details here in the comment box, or send me a message and I'll put you in contact with her. Have a great, great start to the week, and I'll be with you in the next live stream. Take care. Bye bye.